What's up, everybody? My name is Game Over, and welcome back to another top 5 favorite anime characters, because I just recently watched That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, and I literally only just finished it, and I have to say, the final episode is just pure fan service. I have to get off that right off the bat. They knew what they were doing with the final episode. They just wanted to have fun, and that's what I enjoyed. I enjoyed that the scriptwriters just went, screw it all out the window, screw plot, just let the characters have fun and that'll be it. And that's what happened. I love it! I love this anime so damn much. Considering that the one of the only isekai animes that I watched was Overlord, and while I did enjoy Overlord, I didn't actually enjoy it as well as I thought I would. When I was told what the premise was, I thought, yes, hell yes, I will definitely love this. But then as soon as I actually watched it, I didn't like most of the anime, and there were only specific sections that I did enjoy, like the art style, the music, the plots where the characters aren't fighting anybody and they're just hanging out in the castle, and then every other section of the anime I didn't actually like. It's not the case for this anime. This anime is really good through my eyes, because first of all, it's not the main characters being evil. It's not a whole entire anime about the main characters being bad guys, which is what I wasn't much of a fan of about Overlord, because sure, if Overlord was about a bad guy doing bad things, then I would have enjoyed Overlord. But Overlord is meant to be a guy who stayed in the last person to be in his favorite video game, and then was transferred into the game and had that be his real life from now on. He's not a bad guy. He's meant to be fair, I thought he would act a lot more like this main protagonist. He would freak out at first, but then spend the next few days trying to learn about his surroundings, and that would be his new life. Sure, you could say that that's what Aizelgone does, but to be fair, what he does is he gets isekai'd, his subordinates tell him what his plans are, and he just goes along with them, which then he ends up making plans that undoubtedly make him morally unjustified. This main protagonist, Rimuru Tempest, holy god, this guy is funny, and he's exactly how I imagined Aizelgone would have acted. Because his goal is the exact same. Aizelgone's trying to find his other friends who might be trapped with him in the game, but Rimuru Tempest and Aizelgone are both trying to create their own nation. Rimuru Tempest did this way better than Aizelgone could have done. Aizelgone threatened to kill, and did kill, hundreds of humans. Sure, they were morally unjustified humans, but he tricked a bunch of humans to go in his own kingdom to kill them. So then he had a reason to make himself be known, and a reason to go out and take over a whole entire kingdom. That's an evil person, if I know any. But Rimuru Tempest, he just helped a bunch of goblins. And then the goblins got wolves. The wolves helped Rimuru and Tempest and the goblins. And then it just got even better from that, because next came, I'm gonna save that for the plot, because I'm gonna be talking about the plot. Just know that I love this anime. This anime, the scriptwriters did amazing with this anime. Good job. I cannot wait to watch Season 2. Because I haven't watched Season 2 yet. I'm waiting for the dub to come out, because while I don't care if I watch dub or sub, I prefer to watch the dub if I've started watching the anime on dub anyway. Mostly because I do stuff while I watch anime, so I'll be doing work, or I'll be playing video games and listening to anime at the same time, so I prefer the dub. So I'll just wait for all of that to come out. But anyway, let's get started. So, coming in at my number 5. This guy is at the bottom of my number 5 list, and I have to say, it's not really a guy. My number 5 in my top 5 favorite anime characters is the Great Sage. It's not even it is a character, but it's the voice that Rimuru heard before he got into the reincarnated as a slime, and it's the voice he hears when he needs answers. Because of his skill, Sage, and because of his evolved skill, the Great Sage, he gets this personal Google in the back of his head where he can ask questions and the Great Sage will just tell him. And it's flippin' amazing. He can even put it into autopilot mode and the Great Sage will take over and start fighting things. It is amazing! The Great Sage is like, I don't know, it's funny. The Great Sage is a funny character that was not even meant to be a character. It's just sort of a background thing like, hey, it's there, we're going to use this as a joke. So, I like that. That's very... Good job. Good job on character creation. Next, on my number 4, next is going to be Chloe. The tiny little girl that appears in somewhere near episode 20 of the anime. Basically, it's one of the summoned, where if you haven't watched the anime, summoned are basically people who were brought from the real world to this world. Like, they were summoned here. And because they were summoned here, they get amazing power that no other person has. Except they have so much power that after 5 years, they will die because they have so much. It's like, it's like a... Because there's 2 different types of warlocks. There's the D&D warlock, and then there's the, history warlock, where years ago, warlocks were known as people who were born with power that rivals demons and demi-liches and all that. They were born with this power, and they are able to channel their power through a weapon, whether that be a sword or staff or anything like that. Where if their weapon is broken, then their magic becomes unstable and it begins burning them from the inside. A little bit of history lesson for you guys there, and a little bit of fantasy lesson. Don't worry about it. But basically, this works like that, where after 5 years, their energy begins to burn them, and they die because they have so much energy. The reason why I like Chloe out of the whole entire bunch didn't even make it into my top 5. They were a little bit boring, but Chloe's just so damn cute. Like that last scene where they were all hugging Rimuru, and they were sad to see Rimuru go. That made me feel for them all, but Chloe was just so damn cute from the beginning. She just wanted to sit in the corner and read her book, man. She just wanted to read her book. And then when Rimuru gave her the mask, my heart soared. The reason why she's not going any higher than my number 4 is that, like the Great Sage, in Season 1, she's not much of a big thing. I mean, I know that part of the Season 1... all the characters that Rimuru talks to... Why is my camera getting blurry? All the characters that Rimuru talks to are important in their own regard. Like, there's a whole entire section of Season 1 that's resolved around these guys, and these guys are the most important thing. But after that, they become nothing. They're just people that Rimuru have met. That's through my eyes. They didn't really do anything to change anything. Rimuru just did this because he wanted to make sure Shizu... rested in peace, which, great, cool, that happened, and it definitely did need to happen. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have done it. They definitely needed to do it. It's just that now they didn't help. They're not going to help with Rimuru's town. They're not going to help with Rimuru's kingdom. They just kind of become nothing now, which is a shame, because I know that eventually they're going to come back and they're going to be really important characters that help Rimuru defend the kingdom. But yeah, I don't know, I want them to be more important than just characters that will come later on to be important. Anyway, we're gonna continue on with this, so we're moving on to my number 3. The Shion. So, Shion is one of the orcs who got transformed into a kaiji. I think that's how you pronounce them. Yeah, actually no. I think Shion has to share this place, because I just said Shion because I was going between 2 characters and trying to think of which one, so eventually my brain just immediately came out with the one that it landed on. It's like somebody spinning a spinning wheel, and then you just grab it, and whatever it stopped on, that's it. But I think it has to be Shion and Shuna. These 2 are both orcs who, when Rimuru named them, they became kaiji. I think that's the term for an evolved orc. I can't remember names, but here's the little thing that you guys don't know about me. When I was younger, when I was in high school, I researched a lot about fantasy creatures, so even before I became a dungeon master and learned about D&D. I didn't even know D&D was a thing around this time. I just really liked researching fantasy creatures. So, like, I learned about Cerberus. I learned about ancient Greek gods that, you know, the one with the lion's head, the hippo's bottom, the crocodile's face, that sort of thing. But I learned about orcs, and I learned about kaiji, and I learned about slimes, I learned about ogres, I learned about all these fantasy creatures, and I couldn't remember all their names. But I just loved learning about them. That's when I first learned about how most people do elves wrong. Most people, when they put elves into their own TV show or any sort of media, they usually do elves wrong because elves are meant to be known as creatures that were born completely perfect looking, and they keep on, and every single time you see elves in media, they're either beautiful or they're ugly, which is not supposed to be the thing. Elves are supposed to always be beautiful, but for being given ultimate beauty, it's taken away their sense of adventure and excitement. They're more focused on knowledge. That is why they're always beautiful. It's more like a curse thing. It's a give and receive thing. You get a race that will never be ugly, and we get to take away all of your sense of adventure and excitement, so all you want to do is just constantly keep on gaining knowledge. That's the thing about elves. And that's why half-elves are such an amazing race. It's because half-elves are like a human and an elf having a child, or an orc and an elf having a child. And most half-elves do look human. The reason why they're such a good race is because they keep the human sense of adventure and wonder while also keeping the elves' beauty and need for knowledge. It's literally the perfect race. Half-elves are literally the perfect race, and yet somehow in D&D they're considered outsiders, which makes sense. But anyway, that's not what I was supposed to get into. I was just talking about that because we started talking about kaiji. But basically, I like these two characters because they're like Albedos and, God. What's the other character's name? What's the vampire's name? Shaltir? Shaltir Bloodfallen. There we go. These two are like Shaltir Bloodfallen and Albedo. It's just, they both like Rimuru, and they're both trying to get him on his side. And it's like, Shion even just declared, hey, I'm your secretary now. You don't get a choice. And Shuna's just plain old cute. And she's a princess, so that's flipping cool. Yeah, I just like these characters. The reason why they're not any higher is because they're an overused joke. It's like, Sanji from One Piece. I need to make another video now that I've completely finished One Piece. All 975 episodes I have watched, and yet it's still going, so I'm going to be continuing watching episodes. But that video needs to come out. Anyway, these characters are just a constant joke, like Sanji was. Sanji's just the constant joke of every single woman he sees. He just falls in love with them, has blood shooting out of his nose, and says, I'll do anything for you. These two are the constant joke of, we want Rimuru. That's their joke. And the other joke of Shion just constantly keeps on making choices for Rimuru, and Rimuru just goes along with it, like how they do with Overlord. And these jokes are funny. They are still funny. I'm just worried that they'll not get funny anymore. But these are really good characters, and I cannot wait to see how they evolve in Season 2. But now that is spot number 3 taken up by 2 people sitting on the same seat. So we are now moving on to number 2. Number 2 will have to be Shizu. Now the reason why I like Shizu is because she's not just a character that showed up for 2 episodes and then just became another character dusted along the winds. Because they're still using Shizu. At the end of Season 1, when they were still using Shizu as a character, they were saying that Rimuru knew that Shizu was not resting easy because these children were going to die after 5 years, so they needed to find a way to keep them alive. After they finished that plot point, they immediately went hey, let's go back to the past and show how Shizu became a champion. They decided to continue using the character. And honestly, I like this. I like the fact that they will constantly keep on using the character. I like the fact that characters who we remember from old areas of the anime are still getting used now to fill in for plot points coming out. If that makes sense. It's cool. I like it. I very much like it. Shizu is a character that needs to be constantly used. I'm not saying to constantly keep on using Shizu to answer every single plot. I'm not saying that, because then she will be overused, it will become annoying, and I won't like it anymore. But my point is, if you don't have a plot idea to continue on the story, and you need to make an episode, make it about Shizu. Make it about something that happened in the past, and... Or maybe make it about her, make it about her teacher. How the teacher said that we will meet again, many years, whatever. Maybe that will be a thing. Because we learned about... The first thing that we saw, the first episode, featured Shizu. Shizu was the first character we ever saw. And then it went to Rimuru. So, yeah, Shizu is just a great character. The reason why she's not my number one is because while she is a backup character, again, I feel as though it's a double-edged sword. I want there to be more Shizu. However, if they keep using Shizu, it will eventually get boring. So, double-edged sword can't be my number one. I apologize. Now, my number one has to have a shared seat, because Rimuru is my number one, because he's such an amazing protagonist. He's a good protagonist, and I very much like it. But also, Ranga, his wolf, is just so funny to me. And he's literally a unicorn dog! How do you not like this? How can no one like this guy? He's so damn adorable, and he's a badass. You could not like this thing. This thing is the thing you want as a pet. It's adorable. It will bite off the head of anybody who tries to attack you. It is great. I have to have both these guys on my number one, because I can't choose between them. Between Ranga and his badass cuteness, and Rimuru Tempest with his amazing personality. I just like it. I like the character a lot. Oh, what's this? I have a different top and I have shorter hair. That's because it's been several days since when I actually started this video. Everything at the moment where I stopped the last video, I had, all of a sudden, I just had a cathaw of things that I needed to do. So, yeah, now I'm here with you in the future. And at this moment, I started watching Naruto. I'm like up to episode 135, skipping season 1 because I've already seen up to the part where Naruto versus Gaara. So, good. I think if you go all the way back at the beginning of my YouTube experience, like all the way back at the beginning of my channel, I had like a... what was it? I played Naruto Rise of the Ninja. Not a full playthrough. I just played here and there. But that's like where I remember all the things about Naruto. But right now, I'm going to turn on my light. I'm going to shut my curtains. Yeah, that's fine over there. It can just look like heavens off in the distance. And now I'm going to continue the video of that time I got reincarnated as a slime and what I think of it. Right now, I'm up to the point where I finished my top 5 characters. We're done with that. Now I have to talk about the plot. But the problem with this is that the plot is very self-explanatory. It's not... Usually I'm very complicated about the plot, and I go into every little detail trying not to spoil as much as I can. However, with this anime, the plot is really self-explanatory and really simple. The plot just bottles down to Rimuru trying to create a village where monsters can live without being attacked. That's the whole plot. Or at least of season 1. I haven't seen season 2 yet. But the whole plot of season 1 is just Rimuru trying to create a village, and every single, like, 10 episodes or so can be counted as another season, technically, because it constantly keeps on having new problems, it adds in, new solutions, and Rimuru just keeps on getting more powerful and powerful as we go. And each, like, little story in between is absolutely amazing. I love this anime, but basically, the whole entire plot just dumbs down to Rimuru gets reincarnated, Rimuru befriends the dragon, Rimuru finds a village, helps a village, and is now trying to grow the village. That's the plot. Everything in between, like the Demon Lord pig guy, I can't even remember what it was called. I can't remember what their race was called, but it was such a good plot, where Rimuru had to literally get help from the lizard folk, to defeat the Demon Lord hog guy. It was such a good flippin' pod of the season 1. And then, what else? Oh, what else? What else is there? Think. I think that's probably, like, my favorite pod. Just, my favorite pod of the season was just the demon hog. Then there was, like, at the beginning where, he had to help the goblins from the wolves who were constantly attacking their kingdom, and he just straight up decapitated the leader wolf, and the rest of the wolves just yep, you're our master now. And then it became a goblin and wolf society. It was flippin' amazing. I love this anime. It shares the exact, in some regards, it shares the exact same plot with Overlord, and I'm going to use Overlord as an example because it's a good example to use. Overlord is about Aizelgone trying to build up his name by creating a kingdom. If I was to dumb down the plot of Overlord so much that we just ignore everything else, to dumb it down to idiotic levels, Overlord is about Aizelgone trying to build up his name by creating a kingdom. That time I got reincarnated as a slime plot. Why flippin' words? That time I got reincarnated as a slime's plot is about Rimuru getting reincarnated into a world, finding a village, and trying to build up the village to create a place where monsters can live without getting hurt by other people. Basically, harmony. He's trying to create a peaceful village. If I was to make a guess, because I'm done with talking about the plot, I'm not going into every single intricate detail about the plot. I only just got one more thing to talk about, and then that's it for this anime, because it's really flippin' simple, and that's what I like about it. It's so simple, yet it's so amazingly great. I don't know how they make it so epic, but, I lost my train of thought. The plot is so incredibly simple, yet amazing, and I don't understand why it is. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's so flippin' amazing. But there was one part of the anime, because with all animes, and with all TV shows, and all movies, there are always going to be parts that the viewers do not like, but we have to get over it, because they're supposed to be character development moments. The thing that I do not like... Why am I getting blurry? The thing that I do not like about That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, the arc that I don't like, Million Nava. I do not really like her appearance at the moment. Like, I get it, she's meant to be a demon lord, and now Rimuru has some help in order to help him with keeping the village safe now. But that whole entire character moment was literally just showing how powerful Milliam is. If you think about it for a moment, like, you can hate me for not liking this section all you want. I don't have anything towards Milliam. I just think that she's kind of stealing the spotlight. Because when I first started watching the anime, and once I got up to this point, I thought that it was about Rimuru trying to create a village. Yes, he's not necessarily trying to get stronger, but he gets so incredibly strong, and it's just about him still getting stronger and becoming one of the most powerful people in this world. I thought that that was going to be the plot. And I have a feeling that in the future of this anime, Rimuru is going to become a Dark Lord. I know, because after seeing his moves and realizing what he can do, he can sprout demon wings, he can create a black void that swallows up any attack. When he does what he does, he looks like a demon lord. Even if he's incredibly nice, his moves and how they look make him look like a demon lord. So I have a feeling that he is going to become a demon lord soon. But during Millium's arc, a massive monster that was meant to be on par with the demon lords comes out of the ground and starts attacking the village. We get to see Rimuru try to defeat this thing, and everyone's flipping plowing away at it. Rimuru is trying to attack this thing, and it's doing literally nothing. They find out that the big bad guy is actually trying to defeat Millium, and so Rimuru's just like, okay, Millium, you can deal with this. Millium does one punch and knocks this thing dead. Honestly, that was cool and all, but this is meant to be Rimuru getting stronger for me. I want to see Rimuru defeat this thing and grow as a character. Millium... I'm trying to think of a way to say this without insulting all the anime people on Earth. Actually, wait, I think there's a perfect way to do this. And it's basically just a taste for me. Like, I have two things that I don't like in anime. I'm not going to say the first one, because everyone's just going to end up saying that I'm sexist, even though that's not the case. But this one thing that I do not like about anime, and that's overpowered characters who are overpowered at the beginning and overpowered at the end. I don't really like those characters because there's no character development moment. These guys are strong at the beginning. They go through the anime being strong, and then at the end of the anime, they're just strong. Bakugo from My Hero Academia falls into this demographic. He shows at the beginning of the anime that he's stronger than Deku, and right now at the anime, he is stronger than Deku. Where's his character development moments? And Millium falls from the sky, meets Rimuru. She is overpowered as flippin' hell. But she gets defeated by Rimuru because she's a child. And at the end of season 1, she is overpowered and stronger than Rimuru, but is still a child. Where's her character development moment? I'm guessing that her character development moment is somewhere in season 2. I'm hoping that there is, because Millium, I think, has potential to be a great character. It's just that right now she's used as a gag reel, and while that is not necessarily a bad thing, I want Millium to not be a Bakugo. I don't want her to be overpowered at the beginning and overpowered at the end. I want her to, like, I don't know, maybe have a moment where her power is stripped away from her, and she learns what it's like to be weak again. Because she said that she wasn't a Dark Lord since the beginning, so I don't know. Maybe it's like she gets to relive what it's like before she was a Dark Lord, and she learns to appreciate her strength, and maybe she grows up a little bit and stops acting like a child. Maybe she, like, learns to accept, like, be more responsible, if that's the case. Like, she's overpowered now. In season 2, someone steals the power away from her. She has to live a while being weak again, or at least be on par with Rimuru. You can give her some power, just make her on par with Rimuru. You don't have to take it all, just make it like that. And she has to be weak for a while. Then at the end, at some point in halfway of the season, they manage to get her power back, and she learns to appreciate her powers and grow up and not use them to smack everybody in the face. Because right now she's very short-tempered. But yeah, give her a character development moment, please. I want her to develop as a character. I mean, I know you can't because you have to follow what happens in the actual manga, But creator of the manga, please give her a character development moment. I want to like this character. I don't want her to be a Bakugo, because I don't like Bakugo. Bakugo is boring. Bakugo is an overpowered character who's overpowered at the beginning and overpowered at the end. The only reason why I don't hate Aizel Gon is because he's not just overpowered at the beginning and overpowered at the end. Sure, the anime is about him being overpowered, but his character development moment isn't in his power. His character development moment is about learning how to be a great leader. That's his character development moment, and he gains it over time. He's, like, you can say that he was a great leader at the beginning, but honestly, he wasn't. He was just making guesses and hoping that would work. Right now, he's just at the beginning of the anime, he was just learning the world that he was in. Around Season 2 and Season 3, he was learning to create cunning moves in order to outwit his opponents. He was thinking about ways that he could make his allies stronger in order to allow them to think and help him plan for the future. He was able to become a great leader. That was his character development moment. Bakugo, you can say that he had moments where he learned that, oh, I have to work with people. Oh, I have to not be as angry to people. But honestly, can you say that Bakugo at the beginning of the anime is completely different to Bakugo in Season 5 right now? I haven't seen Season 5, but I know for a fact that Bakugo's not any different. Bakugo has not changed in 5 seasons. He is still the annoying, overpowered, angry, explosive character from Season 1. And that annoys me. I don't like Bakugo at all. Bakugo is just a boring character that's there for a milestone for us to be happy that Deku is strong. That's what I think. And I don't want to turn this into a rant about My Hero Academia, because I'm gonna do that again when I actually watch Season 5. But this is just what I think. And everybody can, like, they can hate my opinion and think that Malim is the best thing since sliced bread. But I don't know, I want Malim to actually have a character development moment. I don't want her to be a side character that's just there for us to laugh at the fact that she has a short temper, she punches everything, and all she wants to do is eat food. I don't want that. But this was a long rant. I still got one more thing that I need to say about the anime, and that's the music. The music is absolutely amazing. It's awesome. Like, the first fight, when I watched Rimuru versus Ifrit, the fire dude in Season 1, when I saw that, and I just heard the music kicking in the background, instantly, I was reminded of 3 things. I did 4, but it was 3 things. Sword Art Online, Sonic 06, I did not mean to flip you off right there, Sword Art Online, Sonic 06, and, Overlord. Those were the 3 things that I instantly think of, because Sword Art Online with the Gleam Eyes soundtrack, the flippin' orchestra playing in the background, it was amazing. Sonic 06 with the second phase of Solaris, that was an awesome track, and it instantly reminded me of that time. And that time I got Reincarnated as Slime instantly reminded me of that. Just the feeling that it resonated out of me. And then Overlord, with how flippin' epic the actual song was. It's nowhere on par with Overlord. Overlord's soundtrack is still 10 million times better. I will gladly admit that any time of the week. But this soundtrack is so flippin' good. I love the orchestra for badass boss fights in games and also in anime and TV shows and media. It's awesome. You put an orchestra badass soundtrack in anything and I'm gonna want to listen to it. I'm planning on probably playing Dark Souls because I heard that actually doesn't have a bad soundtrack. But yeah, I listen to music. I love ambiance. I love the flippin' music in That Time I Got Reincarnated as Slime. And that's pretty much all I got now. I pretty much just said everything that's on my mind. I'll probably make another video saying what I think of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Season 2. But for now, I'm not watching it because I watch all my anime on Kick-Ass Anime. And the dub version of Season 2 is not on there yet. It's got, like, Episode 1 of the dub. And I know you're all saying, then watch the sub version. I watch both dub and sub, but if I start watching an anime in the dub version, I'm gonna finish it in the dub version. I'm not swapping in between unless it's completely necessary. Like there's absolutely no dub version and there is never gonna be a dub version. A good example of this is with My Hero Academia. I started watching it in the sub version. I started watching it in the dub version. I watched season 4 in the sub version, and I'm waiting for My Hero Academia season 5 to be in the dub version. Meanwhile, with Sword Art Online, I first watched it in the sub version, and I ended watching it in the sub version. I always stick to how I began watching it. I'm currently watching Naruto at the moment, as I said, and I'm currently watching it in the dub version. Because it's all in dub, I'm finishing it in dub. I'm not going over to sub. Even if the voice acting is better and the music is better and there's extra scenes or whatever, I still get the basic plot in the dub version, and that's flipping great for me. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this video. So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please smash that like button. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button to see more awesome and amazing videos that are just like this one right here. Before I continue on with my outro, I need to let you all know, I'm gonna be doing my first ever live stream. Like my first ever live stream on Twitch. I'm gonna do it. And the game I'm playing is Sonic Riders. I'm playing through the entire game in one sitting. I know that a lot of you probably won't want to watch a idiot sit in his chair and live stream a game that he's already had a playthrough for. But this isn't meant to be about me sitting down playing Sonic Riders. This is about me probably taking my next step in my content creating side thing, because I'm not making content creating my professional thing, because honestly I don't think I'll be able to make it. I don't think that I'll be able to get as big as all of the big guys like Sykkuno, Pokimane, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, PewDiePie. I don't think I'll Lost Paws, 8-Bit Ryan. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get to where they are, because they're through my eyes, they're on a pedestal that I don't think I'll ever be able to get to. They are amazing people that make great and amazing content and love their community, and I just don't think that I could ever be able to do anything near. But I still want to create content because I want to try and achieve that, even if it is a foolhardy dream of mine. I still want to try and get up to that level, even if, I don't know, even if I go through adulthood and end up like an old man and yet I still only have 71 subscribers. I just want to try. I want to try really hard. But anyway, this is meant to be my next step. This is meant to be me trying to do live streaming every now and then, and hopefully being able to get a follow base on there. I really badly want to try it. I've been working so damn hard to create my own art for a We Will Be Back screen, stream will be starting soon. I tried my best to create my own GIF, but ended up getting someone else to make it. I got really angry that I couldn't make my own background GIF, but as long as I got through it, as long as I reached the end, it's fine. And yeah, it's so flippin' hard to get into live streaming, that's the thing. I'm not even gonna have a schedule. I'm not gonna have a schedule. I can't have a schedule because I have zero flipping clue when I'll be able to live stream. I have zero clue, and that's the thing. I might be able to live stream for an hour on one day, and I might be able to live stream for 3 hours on another day. My life is so flippin' random that I don't know. I have zero clue what's gonna happen. But again, this is my first step, and I'm hoping that I can get a few people watching me on Friday. So, for me, who I'm all the way in Australia, it's going to be on Friday. For all of you guys who are in America, Europe, or any place in Asia or whatever, here is the time zones that I've got. Because it's probably going to be like Thursday for you guys. So, it will be, what will the day be? It will be the 11th. For me, it will be the 11th Friday, June. And for you guys, it'll be the 10th of June, Thursday. So, for you guys, it'll be Thursday, and these times, yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you. Just try to show up, please. I'm asking, not for my, to grow my, I'm not asking to grow my channel or anything. Honestly, for my first ever live stream, I think my only goal is to get a few people watching. Get a few people enjoying my content on there. Get a few people to talk to, get a few people to laugh along with me, because I don't really want to sit in a room alone. I don't want to sit in my chat alone talking to myself. That's boring. I've done that for YouTube now. I want to actually communicate with a couple of guys. And who knows, it might actually happen. But anyway, let's get off of the live stream thing because, again, this went for way too long and I was meant to finish this ages ago, but I apparently no. Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope that you all did enjoy it. Please let me know what your favorite, That Time I Got Reincarnated as the Slime characters are. I want to hear your favorite characters. I've talked about my favorite characters. I want to hear yours in the comments or on my Twitter. But yeah, thanks again. And I shall see all of you in my next video. This game is not over because there's no game. There is no game!